Hey guys, I'm just doing audio today. I always feel guilty for just doing audio, but there's just some days it's like either I don't do a live or I do a live and just do an audio. Just sometimes just in in a mood where you don't want to be on camera. I'm on live on Rumble too, so hold on. I'm waiting to see it kick in. Come on, work, work, work. Sometimes it's delayed. Shoot. Huh. The reason I wanna wait is 'cause when it comes on, the audio is gonna blast. Oh, there it is. Yes, it worked. Okay, cool. It just is a little delay. So I'm on Rumble too. They haven't integrated with YouTube yet, so that's why you can't comment through Rumble. I think they're getting close. They're supposed to do it soon, at least with StreamYard platform when I stream. Through the way I'm doing it, it doesn't you can't, comment through Rumble into StreamYard, I should say. You could go over and Rumble and you comment, but as far as the both of the comments going to StreamYard, it doesn't work, only YouTube's going to StreamYard, but so if you're watching on if you're watching on Rumble did I go out? It froze over there. Huh, okay. Hello? It froze over at Rumble, but, okay, but yeah, so not sure why it's froze. Huh, that is so weird. Let me refresh, hold on. 'Cause I wanted to work. Oh, there we go. It's working. Okay. All right, guys. I need to start doing TikTok too. Hey, Flojo, what's up, Christine? Out, Christine out. I actually am gonna show. Hold on, let me put on the comments because we should. Since I'm not showing my face, I am gonna put on my comments. Do you guys like them like tall? For me, I find the easiest way to read them are, like, when they're wide like this, but the only issue with that is they get in the way of the video or if, like, but see well, I am gonna play some videos, so let me do it like that. Alright, um, hey, Steph and Cal. I got my links. You know what? I'm like, "You know what? I never share my links." I'm gonna start doing that. I should have put my Ko-fi. You can only do 200 characters though, so I wasn't able to put my new thing up there. If mods, if you want to share that Ko-fi, because I need to start promoting that, because there probably are still some people interested in seeing those kiosk messages, but nobody knows have heard of Ko-fi. So if you want to, Casey, like periodically share that, that'd be awesome. All right, guys, I have 4 videos, or no, 5 videos I want to play. There's really no like new updates, but there's some interesting things that kind of get a little bit added. Like I want to first start out with the this right here, News Nation. Where is it? This is where I'm gonna start right here. Where Harvey goes on News Nation. Have you guys seen that? It's from I think it was weird because earlier it said it was from earlier today, like the hours matched up that it was like from this morning. But now it's saying 16 hours ago, so I don't know if it's from last night or this morning, but I watched it today. It was pretty interesting. So let's start with that. Um, oh, it's just oh, you weren't here last live, yeah, huh? It's just this right here. Co it's where I've been releasing the rest of the chaos messages. That's the command. It should bring up the command. Let me see. Yep, right there. Okay. It'll be like my Patreon. So once I finish doing the chaos messages, anything else, any other files I order that are like more not YouTube appropriate, I'll put over there. Um okay, so let's start off by watching News Nation. She has Harvey on. I thought it was kind of interesting interview because they're like the main source that got the information. So there's just like little extra key little specific things that like when you're, that they'll let out. Like when I watched this, there's a few little details that I didn't hear in the article. Nothing big, but it's just I don't know. I wanted to have this live to kind of just chat with you guys while we're waiting because it's gonna be crazy when they arrest him. Hey, soft TMI. It is off on purpose. Silly. I just want to do audio today. Okay, so I am going to play this and then I'll be in chat. And I'll probably pause it a little bit here and there. But this is Harvey on News Nation. Hold on 1 second. Hey, fishing for fun. Hey, oh Thomas. Hey, how are you? What is up, my friend? I know I normally do go on camera, but once in a great while, it's either a matter of I don't do a live or it's like, you know what, I want to do a live. I don't want to get on camera. And a lot of times I just won't do it, but I'm trying to get in the habit if I want to do it and it's just I'm not wanting to be on camera, which is rare. I mean, most of the time I am. I'm trying to get in the habit of just still doing audio because a lot of people will just do only audio, which I'll never do that. I'll mostly be on camera, but add a little couple extra ones, especially when I just want to watch these videos and chat with you guys about them. Okay, here we go. Let's watch.
At this time, we were all over what seemed to be a coordinated leak from the LAPD about Celeste Rivas Hernandez and her rich and famous and much older boyfriend, the singer known as David. While his stage name is spelled with a 4, his legal name is David Anthony Burke, plain and simple. The bombshell this week was that the LAPD sources say investigators now consider David a suspect, which might raise the question, what took him so long? Except that 2.5 months after Celeste's decomposing remains were found in David's Tesla, authorities still aren't saying how the young runaway died or whether anyone else had a hand in it. TMZ, as often happens, was the first in line for that leak. And they say David may not be the only suspect on the investigators' radar. The outlet also reports that David made a quick and mysterious trip to a remote part of Santa Barbara County. That was back in the spring. He apparently set out in the middle of the night. Weird. TMZ says he returned to LA a few hours later. Then I spoke with TMZ's Harvey Levin about all of these new details. Here's our conversation. Harvey, what are the sources in the LAPD suggesting when it comes to this case right now?
Well, we're getting more than suggesting. We know what's going on. So there is not an official cause of death yet because the medical examiner has not ruled, nor have the toxicology reports been given to LAPD. But what I can tell you is that the robbery homicide unit and the investigators looking at this case are viewing this as a homicide and viewing David, the singer, as the suspect.
Are they? Well, there's my next question. A suspect, because there was some intimation that was too difficult a job for one person to carry out. So are they thinking that there are more involved?
They believe there is more than one person involved in this based on the way and the manner in which the body was discovered, that it was cut up, and I don't know why, but they believe that it couldn't be the work of just one person.
This weird trip to Santa Barbara County, apparently your sources have unearthed this. Walk me through what it was, when it was, how long it lasted, the whole story behind this trip.
So we are told that in the spring of this year, I can't give you a month, I'm just told the spring, David went to a remote area of Santa Barbara County, which is about 100 miles from where he lives in Los Angeles, a remote area of Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night, and spent a couple of hours there. And that is a hugely important part of this case, the way I understand it. And I don't want to be more specific, but based on all the things that are going on, that is a point that seemed to stand out when we got this story, that this Santa Barbara trip is very, very important. Now, what does the Santa Barbara trip mean? Remember, it's spring, and his body wasn't found until early September. So her body, rather, early September. So we're talking months. So, you could theorize that maybe he went to try and bury a body. Maybe he would have gone to bury a weapon. But if it was a body, why was the body found in the trunk of his car in Los Angeles months and months later? Would they have gone and picked it up and brought it back? Now, there are some people who are saying, well, wait a minute, maybe he took Celeste there and allegedly, did her in there. The reason I don't
See, I was having those same questions. How is the audio from the video compared to my mic? Is that okay? Anyway, hopefully it's okay because I remember with my old mic, it used to be like one was way louder, and they'd be like, ah, whenever I switched. But I was having those same questions. So, like, what did he do there in Santa Barbara? Like, he went at a very late, like in the middle of the night, couple hour drive. Well, he said 100 miles, which is like almost 2 hours. Stays there a couple hours. Now, does that mean he went in that Tesla? Which would he be dumb enough to not realize that records stuff and stuff, like all the possibilities, or was he smart enough and turned off some of the stuff? Oh shoot, my ear. Um. So, but question: what did he do there? They're really focusing on that. He says that trip. So, did he, like Harvey brings up, did he bury her and then maybe come back for her later because he was getting nervous and that was just like a what is the word? Oh my lord. Just like I can't even think of the word. Oh my lord. Sometimes I feel like something's wrong with me. So yeah, so he just a temporary spot basically to hold her. Or did he think he was gonna keep her there, got nervous? Or, like I said in my last live, was it just partial remains in his Tesla? Like, did he put something there? Did he a part of her there? I don't know. And like he Harvey says he doesn't think that it's like that he killed her there because they just said like David was there. So who knows? Who knows why he went there? Did he dismember her there? Because I mean, did they find any blood at the mansion? Did they go to the other house that he had stayed in a lot and Celeste had stayed in a lot? Was there any proof of like any DNA? Because that's to dismember somebody, there would be like a lot of DNA, a lot of blood. Even if you try to clean it up, when they put that stuff on it, I mean, it's hard for them to clean up enough where that won't show. So did he dismember her out there? Who freaking knows? But I am so curious now. This has makes us have so many more questions. So I really do hope this is one of those cases where they actually tell us these answers, at least some of them. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts.
don't think that's the case is we were told David went to Santa Barbara County, not they went to Santa Barbara County. And, it makes me think, how would they know David went? If it was just a cell phone, I don't think what they would say David went. I think what we would get is his cell phone pinged in that area. We got the word David. That makes me think there is video from his Tesla and that they have gotten into the Tesla. We know they have data from the Tesla, and maybe there is video showing him there that they could track it there and they could see him there. And I don't know what it is that he did there, and it may well be that the LAPD knows, but we don't know yet.
Well,
But
and
something big happened during that trip.
do they know where he is? At this point, does anyone actually know where David is?
Well, I don't know if the LAPD knows. He was in LA. If he is still here, he is virtually in hiding because there are a lot of paparazzi agencies in LA. And, that photograph is worth a lot to these agencies. So if he's spotted out, um, they're probably going to get a picture of him. And we haven't seen any of these agencies say, hey, we got a picture of David. So if he's here, he is underground. And I think there's a good chance that maybe he went somewhere else where it's not going to be as, where there aren't going to be these, paparazzi agencies around. But we haven't seen him, and I don't know where he is. I know he was in LA, but that was weeks ago.
What do you think is about to happen? Do you think he's about to be in cuffs?
Well, we were told not in the near future. I don't know what near future means. One of the problems is the medical examiner has not determined cause of death, and they have not given toxicology to LAPD. Even if say the medical examiner comes back and says undetermined, the LAPD could still move forward. And my sense from our reporting is they would. But I'm told, and I don't know what the specifics here are, is that the relationship between the LA County Medical Examiner and the LAPD has not been great over the last few years. And even though they could fast track, if they wanted to, the medical examiner could fast track some of these, the tests that they're doing. My sense is they have not done so because, it can take 3 months easy for something like this. But they could also fast track it. And based on our conversations, that does not seem to have been done. And it may speak to the relationship that LAPD has with the medical examiner. I don't know what's behind it, but that's what I was told.
And my great thanks to Harvey Levin.
Thank you for watching.
So wait, what are you guys talking about? Odor or smell? I haven't even been, I'm over here on Reddit now. I've been on something else and I haven't even looked over at Reddit or looked through some of, if you're talking about Asia's like social media or anybody's. I'm looking now. Look at this. What's this all about? I just went over to Reddit. Hold on one second. Let me show you real quick. What's this? So it says, hold on. Possible Celeste voice in David's collab song when she was just 11. Is it any of the ones we already heard? So we have this picture. We have that picture. Where's that picture from? I don't recognize that one. I'm waiting. David. Oh, that's the Bofi. Bofi or Bofi. Okay, never mind. I know what that is. But I never seen these pictures. What are those from? Let me look at the lyrics of I'm waiting now. All right, I'm waiting. Tick tock, haha. Michael, don't miss. Oh, you save the lies for when you save the lies for when you're in a situation. All the days gone, missing you. Baby, wait for me. Save your tears for the night. Baby, I'll do you right. Baby, your body makes me feel amazed. Had a night in LA. It's not the same. I'm just one call away. Okay. Yeah. If you feel some way, you can call me tonight or in the day. Don't want to waste time. Just want to waste time. Okay. He wasn't cautious when you talked about me. I feel okay, but do you really want me? I want to run away. Want to feel okay. I'm having a breakdown on certain days. I had a night in LA is not the same. Okay. Yeah. I don't think it's anything really. I mean, that it means anything deep, like as far as like figuring out anything about the case. Let's see. I want to open a serious discussion about the expectations placed on the families involved in this case. Since the identification of Celeste's body in the front, her family has not released a formal written statement or held a press conference to address people or the media. I frequently see the argument that they don't speak English used as a shield for this silence. However, living in California, we constantly see non-English speaking families utilizing interpreters to speak to the news to raise awareness and demand justice for their loved ones. What is this? Because of the volume of calls and emails I've received following TMZ oh, is that SF investigator? Hold on, let me go up to his Twitter and see. Hold on. Hold on, guys. I have a couple more videos I want to watch. I want to watch the Nancy Grace with you, and she has two. Might not get through both of them, but I want to watch the one for sure. She brings on like different guests and stuff. So this is what they were. Hold on, where'd I go? Right here. This is what they were posting. This is Steve's post from 6 hours ago. Let's see. It says Because of the volume of calls and emails I've received following TMZ's reporting from an unnamed source, I need to state that for legal reasons, I cannot provide any further public comment on the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case at this time. This is not permanent, but for now, this is the situation. My client's goal and my goal remain justice for Celeste. TMZ's constant flip-flopping is unbelievable, and this is 22 hours ago, and it's wild that so many people just go along with it and don't call them out. Why does he have I don't understand why he's got to have beef with everybody. I feel like this always happens with cases. I feel like there's always like a couple people that they're like going at it or something. I don't understand. Every case. I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying it seems like there is a pattern here. I don't know though. I don't know enough to say anything, so I'll just shut up about that. But all right, let me go back to this Reddit really quick because I didn't get to look at any Reddit because Reddit, when you don't have time and you're busy with something else to really do a lot of the in-depth sleuthing or whatever, Reddit's been on it with this. Because normally I'll be like one to look through the stuff that they're looking through, which I have somewhat, but I've been working on that other project of mine that I haven't, and that's taken me so much freaking time. It's crazy that I haven't really been through it. But I don't feel like there's a ton more as far as like I think the rest is just gonna be waiting for new updates as far as like because what more can we find from there? The Discord. I mean, we found some interesting things. But there might be some hidden gems in there that we'll find. But I'm telling you, there's a lot to go through. So I mean, periodically I'll go through a little bit here and there, and maybe we'll come across something. But I don't know. I think going from here on out, it's gonna be what LAPD puts out and lets us know what the heck's going on. I can't wait to see. Well, he probably hasn't even been interrogated yet, but like imagine that interrogation. That'll be interesting. Thanks, Soul, for gifting. All right, let's see if there's anything in here. So I'm on the date. Ooh, what's this? Oh, wait, let me see what you guys are saying about the odor comment. You said something about odor. She said something about odor. This is your post? Huh? Oh, you got it. Cool. Okay, let's see. What is this? Aisha Collins. She just posted this on her TikTok. Oh, that's from 2 days ago. What is it? What was the relevance of it? I don't huh. Was there did it have something? You burned my house to the ground. Okay. I'm not sure what. Okay, let's see here. This is I want you to hear how Harvey Levin speaks about Celeste's body is found in the front. Okay, no. Oh, which one is this?
Absolutely, because the next song after that is This Really Love? So it's kind of like a lead into that kind of a transition type thing.
I believe the last time you were here, didn't you say you never experienced love or hadn't been in love? You didn't?
Yeah, I wasn't in a relationship then. Nah.
But today you are? Or you are?
I've been through a couple. I'm single still right now, but I've been through a few, and they've taught me a lot of things.
Oh, I forget when that was. I have to look that up, that date. Wait, email me too, Catalina. What are people in Team Music comments just say stuff to stir the pot? If it Oh, because you don't have my email. Here's my email. Okay.
I media trained you.
I'm gonna watch that again. Okay. I'm gonna go back and find that because I don't remember when that date was. I remember it's going through it at the time. A couple weeks ago I knew, but now I forget that interview. Somebody was trying to look for the interview. It's not that hard to find. You just go to his channel. Hold on. Hold on a second. Let me see, because now I'm interested in when that was, that interview with what's his name? That YouTuber. Oh my god, now I can't even think of his name. That guy who went on 2 different interviews. Here, I'll find it though. Jason or Zach Sang is his name. Okay. So that interview, oh wow, they
Seems
might
like
be
that's
onto something. This interview, look at the date. Wait, hold on. April 28th. When he says he's not in a relationship anymore. I did not realize. Well, no, I guess I probably did realize, but now that we think this something could have happened in the spring, that makes this interview way more important. I feel like, wow. Hey, Granny Ma, what's up? Oh, here. Catalina, you could, oh, okay. Yeah, you can send me the link if you want to use my Gmail. Proton, let me know how you want to do it, Catalina, because Proton Mail, you can't send big files, but Gmail, you can. Let me know. It's up to you if you just want to do it a indirect way, or if you want my Gmail, let me know. Or you could just tell me like what it is. I could probably look it up maybe if it's like just on somebody's account. I have no idea like what we're even referring to, but that's my other personal email if you want to email me from there, because you could email more. Here, I'll play this while we're waiting. This is April 28th. You guys, very interesting. Wow, let's watch some of it. I haven't watched all of it, to be honest. I just watched like
Dave.
this isn't what I was gonna watch. So what do you guys want to watch? Do you want to skim through this or watch Nancy Grace? I originally was gonna watch Nancy Grace, but sometimes things get, changed a little bit. What do you guys think? I'm gonna start playing this. Put a 1 if you want to skim through this and watch some of this, and put a 2. I mean, we might end up watching both, but right now, do you want to watch a little bit of this or Nancy Grace?
Hi, beautiful human. I'm Zach. Genre Bentley special.
Thank you.
And yeah, we have a lot to discuss. Everybody, David.
I love that. I love that.
How many ways have you heard people pronounce your name over the years?
D4VD,
I'll do a little bit
DV4D, D4VD,
But it is
David.
Right?
Dave.
I have
It is
it a little
David.
bit fast.
Like, yeah, it is David.
It's
But I'm kind of owning the D4VD thing now. Like a lot of people are calling me that, so I'm like, it might just be the word.
Wait, I mean, we've been saying it for a long time, but mainly as a joke. And my greatest fear came true, which is I just casually said it, and I didn't really intentionally want to do that.
That's so funny.
The forward, it just flows nicely.
Right? D4VD.
It just feels good.
D4VD. Yeah.
You really are a special human being, though. We have an entire album to
No,
discuss.
he's
and,
not. No, he's not.
Are you withered, man? Like, what's up?
Like that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now.
Genuinely?
Returning, well, figuratively, spiritually. That's like I want to dive into this album as my.
Joe, you forgot to put the link in there. I do that all the time when I'll send me videos. I'll send it, but you forgot to put the link in the thing. So I don't have any link. The email's blank that you sent me. Like I said, I do that all the time to myself. And a lot of times it's like I send it to myself for the live later on that night. So then by the time I go back sometimes and realize it, like I'm on the live and I'm like, oh shoot. And I don't even remember where or which one that was. Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. But thankfully I haven't been doing it as much, but I hate that. Yeah, just resend the link if you don't mind.
My entire aesthetic, my entire being is like withered. My entire being.
What does it mean to be withered?
So the entire aesthetic of this project is returning to the dust. A rose grows from the dirt and then it also decays back into the dirt. So with this project, the way I made
There
it, the
we
way
go.
I'm talking
I
about
got
the
it
themes on
out.
this project, the way I'm talking about my emotions and my feelings, it's all returning to the dirt with this. It's like a entire life cycle. You know?
Okay. In a life cycle that connects to the other EPs, possibly Petals to Thorns, and then the Lost Petals.
Yep. It's all a through line. So basically with Petals to Thorns, I view that as
Oh, this is, I think, from the clip that RIA sent me. I'm pretty sure I have seen this. She sent me like where she recorded her screen and sent it to me to show me a part of it. She was, I think this is the same from the same stream. But here, let me play it. Hold on. I think it is.
David are actually related?
My second cousin.
Yeah.
Why is it froze? Hold
We
on.
go to like the same family functions, like we go on
Maybe
road
it's
trips,
not.
backseat type. Low key,
Backseat.
I'll be there too, bro. Some driving.
Wait. Question. When was this stream? When did they do this? I need to know. Hold on. Because somebody just obviously wait, is somebody repost this? Or is this when it was uploaded? July 4th? But then Twitch, obviously, if this is a Twitch stream, it was even streamed a little bit before that, right? Let me rewind it a little bit.
Low key,
Backseat.
I'll be there too, bro. Some driving. You're driving. I'm missing inside. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see her driving. I was like, there's no driving there. My fault.
Are you done?
Yeah.
He was a fan. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. He was a fan.
I have to take one piss before we leave.
Yeah.
Is that David? No. No.
Who's that?
Let me know when to call her over.
What
was that reaction?
No.
Let me go over. Oh, dude, it's so
I want
tragic.
you to go under like an alias and make a whole different like genre of music to see if you can blow up again.
I'll be a rapper. Freaking.
Your rapper name?
Scared
Big D.
someone to
Big D's good. That's a good
I
music.
love you like I do.
Big D.
You like it or not?
You.
Like it or not? Why is Keanu Reeves singing? Keanu Reeves, you? I guess. I can't. Well, I can try. You know, oil farming low key? Am I?
Got
I got
water. Got a lot of water.
That's not water.
Got a lot of water. So much water.
That's not.
There's water. We fill it with water. Fill it with water.
Okay.
Those are mine. Not
Here.
wait, so that's water. It's water. What is this? You got drugs?
Oh, wait, I didn't empty out my pills again.
You put this in the bag too?
Unless you don't mind. I have a lot of pills.
Can you put? Fuck you, bro. I'm looking at your packing, bro. Go fuck yourself. I don't even get paid, guys. I'm not even getting paid for this bullshit, bro. Fuck this, bro. Fuck all y'all. Dead ass.
ABC. Oh, yeah,
Getting
so I
exposure?
apologize in
Okay.
advance for the way my bathroom smelled. I took a shit there like 2 hours ago.
I don't care. I just took a shit.
Another one? Type shit. That's what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about that right there? But first of all, wait a minute. If he said, I mean, why he took it a crap 2 hours ago? Why would it still smell from 2 hours ago? But is that what you're talking about, odor, or is there something else? I'm not sure if that. Why is he looking like so?
You're still not dressed, Guapo says. Oh, guys.
So Neil, why is he looking like he's like so confused at David, like stuff he's saying, like not like in a negative way, like he's like so confused, not like, I don't know, look at that face, like he's looking at him like, what the heck kind of look. But let me make sure that in context, is he looking at, is he doing that to David? Hold on, let me watch this again.
Hey guys, I'm not even getting paid for this bullshit, bro. Fuck this, bro. Fuck all y'all. Dead ass.
ABC. Oh, yeah,
Getting
so I
exposure?
apologize in advance for the way my bathroom smelled. I took a shit there like 2 hours ago.
I don't care. I just took a shit.
Another one?
Type shit. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep. I had to go. You wanna join us?
See, that makes me think Neo knows something. Because that comment in itself was not a big deal, but why it's like almost like Neo is like annoyed and kind of frustrated that David said that for some reason. And why else would you be like, what did he say that was so weird? He said a lot weirder, immature things that we've heard, and you were fine with it. So it makes me think that there's some reason that he's looking like that because he knows something. He knows what happened, and I don't know. All right, let me play.
You're still not dressed, Guapo says. Guys, we're about to leave soon.
Everybody is dressed.
We're all chilling, bro. We gotta go.
There's no
We
light.
gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. Asia's slaying with that belly button ring. Hey!
Hey, one funny ways.
Are you just
One
rocking
funny
that?
ways.
It did get infected.
The problem with that?
You're not rocking anything over it?
Belly button watcher?
Probably.
He's a belly button watcher. That's crazy.
I'm so glad that you healed up, though.
You might need to put it on once we get there. Like maybe I just because I thought
How far is the face?
maybe.
Alice?
Oh wait, what? I think
Not
you just
too
need to
far.
plug it in first.
No, come in. You have to show your face. You have to show your face. You have to show your face. Is this too much? Is that, okay, you saw glimpse. Is that too much for a face party? 4th of July like that?
I say, never too much. Never too much. Rock star, never too much. Never too much.
What did they say? What did they say?
They said no.
Okay, thank you guys.
Never too much. I'm about to pop my titties too. Swamp is on. Once we get there, I'll pop my titties.
But a bitch ain't one.
Oh, I said you fine. Oh.
That's my dad's favorite song.
For free? David will do a lot for free.
I do a
bro.
lot for free, twin.
Why are you grabbing my shoulders when you say that?
Yeah.
I do a lot.
What?
You want me to do it?
What is it?
Looking sexy?
Oh! I mean,
Hey, we should bring that girl from last night. Yo. Cool. All right, bro. I gotta either shave again or let the goatee grow back out because I'm looking kind of crazy right now, twin. I don't like the way I look right now. I look crazy. Oh. Sorry.
Excuse me.
Look at that sexy boy right there.
look at that sexy girl right here.
Look at that sexy man right
Why was that bad that like she didn't want to be on camera, whoever that was? Let me rewind and pause it because who big deal, like why couldn't she be on camera? Let me see.
Look at that sexy boy right there.
Oh, I didn't rewind it good big enough. Or did I?
That's right. I don't like the way I look right now. I look crazy. Oh.
I mean, what? They're not doing anything. Like, why? This girl doesn't want to be on camera for some reason. Is that what you guys got from that, or what are they doing over there? This girl, is she wrapped in something white? The heck? I have it really slow motion so I could pause it easier. So we got Neo here, the two girls right here. I don't know what the heck he's doing. This girl that we haven't seen on camera yet. So she obviously doesn't want to be on camera, I'm thinking. Is that, oh wait, is that the older Celeste? I can't tell with her glasses on. Is that, maybe that is the other Celeste. I can't tell 100%.
Oh.
I think it is. Does she have a tattoo? Yeah, because isn't that the Hello, is that the Hello Kitty tattoo? That is the other Celeste. Here, let me take this down. You could see the Hello Kitty tattoo that you could see it on another picture. when they're in the hallway, I think it is. So yeah, that's the other Celeste. But I don't understand. Why couldn't she be on camera? Why he's like, oh, sorry. I mean, they're not getting changed or anything. They all got their clothes on. You know what I'm saying? It's not like somebody was changing and he's like, oh, sorry. What's that? What's he doing? What the heck? Okay. Huh. Interesting.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
Look at that sexy boy right there.
Look at that sexy girl right
Sexy,
here.
look at that sexy man right there.
Twin him,
Look at that
bro.
Sexy man right there.
I'm David's one and only Asian, bro. No one else, just me and David. I'm the only Asian for him.
The Cardi boys on top.
Oh, you scratched my.
Oh, we're okay. We're okay.
Don't worry about it. Anybody want a PS5? We can win a PS5 on secure stream. We can win a PS5. Anybody want a PS5? We can win a PS5 on secure stream.
It's mine.
So all you gotta do is like, follow, subscribe, and stuff for 3 months to get 25 subs. You get a PS5.
Guys, let's peep this candle right here. Look at this fucking candle, bro. Look at this fucking. What are we doing, bro? Hold up. Can I flip the screen here? Is there anything leaking? Okay.
Just don't dox me though.
I'm doxing you. Where the address is 420 Street.
Whoa!
Is there anything leaking? What the heck is that supposed to mean? Can I turn it? Is there anything leaking? That's a weird choice of word to use. Leaking? Like, huh? What? Go back? Are we going back to hearing the audio or to visual? Flojo. I don't know how far. The leaking part? Well, yeah. I mean, I pointed it out. I didn't even know that's what you guys wanted. What part you wanted, but yeah. I mean, that's interesting that he used that choice of word. But I'm just gonna go back. This is far enough. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I pointed it out. Yep. Yeah, because I mean, we probably all catch the same things.
Candle, bro. Look at this fucking. What are we doing, bro?
There's that 4.
Hold up. Can I flip the screen here? Is there anything leaking? Okay.
Just don't dox me though.
I'm doxing you. Where the address is 420 Street.
Whoa!
69420 Street. Apartment number 6969.
Are you ready?
Are you looking at the address?
I mean.
And when we get in the car, just cover the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, to me, okay, now I think it's almost like she wanted to, because it was odd that he said leaking. Is there anything leaking? I feel like she only said that is because she realized how weird that sounded. So maybe they all know about it. I don't know really though. They were talking about anything relevant to Celeste, because would she be leaking? I don't know. But she says it almost sounds like she caught that he shouldn't, like, weird choice of words. Maybe you shouldn't have said that, to cover it up, saying it like, oh, is there anything leaking the address? So then everybody thought, oh, that's what you meant about leaking the address. But in reality, if you think about it, that is a weird way to say it. And no, you would know if the inside of your house, if there was anything leaking or showing. You wouldn't say leaking, you'd say showing. Is there anything showing? Is your address showing? Or no, you're inside the house. You would know if anything. Wait, is it okay to turn on the camera? If that's what you're worried about, you don't need to ask. Just kind of look to see if you could see an address. That's why, like, it doesn't make sense. It almost does sound suspicious. And then her saying it on top of it, like, oh, leaking address, to cover up that it's normal that he said he used it in that reference. So yeah, it does make me wonder what the heck they're talking about, because I'm not buying that that's the word they would have used because they were concerned about something about their address showing. Like, no, nothing about how that happened would convince me that that's what he was asking about. Like, is your address showing? Why would you're in the room? Just look. What do you mean your address? Like, no, it's not showing. Just look real quick. Can you see the numbers of the house? Like, No, he was nervous. He was like, wait, is it okay to turn around? And then it makes me wonder why earlier he said, oh, sorry, and turned it when David did that. Like, what are you guys hiding in this house? But another thing, it could be drugs. They're doing drugs. And is there like powder sitting out? Maybe they're doing, you know what I'm saying? It could be something illegal like that, that they were kind of, but the term leaking wouldn't make sense for drugs either. But maybe they're just all high. And he, instead of saying, like as he was starting to say, like, is there anything showing? He got nervous because drugs and he just leaking or something. I don't know. Cause I can't think that that means like, so I don't know. It could just be drugs or something like that. Cause I mean, you guys are thinking it's relevant to like Celeste being in there, her body? I don't know. Maybe something they're hiding. It's not the address either. Tell you that.
Say she a gold digger.
You good?
Bro,
Yeah, of course.
Her pupils are so dilated. Yeah, they all high. They high. They're one of those highs where they're not coming across as very strung out high, but you got to look for certain signs. Her pupils look definitely dilated, in my opinion. I think they're high on some.
You good? Yeah, of course. Probably.
Be careful. So I don't know. Yeah, definitely interesting. The leaking thing is definitely concerning because I just am not convinced it has anything to do with Celeste. Oh shoot, sorry. I think it could more be like drugs or something they're trying to hide. Um, but it could be. I mean, but let's kind of like think out loud here. How would, if it was about Celeste, what do you think they were talking about? Like like would they really be in a situation where the body could be laying out? Like, you know, and they're like, wait, is her body showing? Is she in here? Like, wouldn't you think that that would be hidden away somewhere? That's why I'm not sure if that they would be worried. Like they would know where that was at, I'm sure. So that's why I think it's more likely drugs or something. Now, odor, yeah, I mean, it could smell, but he was definitely mad when he said that about the poop, which it's not. David has said so many more immature things on live streams and videos. So, like, for him to give him that look when he said something like he took a crap, I mean, what's the big deal? That's not even that big of a deal from how immature some of the stuff he says. Like to me, that's like normal. I mean, for somebody to say that, like, hey, I hope it doesn't smell like that's not that weird. So why did he get so mad that he said that? It is weird that he said 2 hours ago, no, 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 your poop isn't going to smell after 2 hours. So that doesn't make sense. um, yeah, no, I know she was already dead. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying what would what would they be like? Do you really think they weren't sure if they had her hidden? Like okay, what are you thinking they were checking? Like, is it leaking in reference to Celeste? Are you thinking she was leaking, like they had her body somewhere and they wanted to make sure it wasn't leaking? I don't think it was actually like I don't think the term leaking, I don't know. I just think it was more drugs or something. That's just my opinion. But no, I know. I was following about, it was July, so she probably would have already been dead. I just don't know if he'd be like, wait, can I turn the camera? And if he was worried that Celeste would be showing somewhere. I feel like they would have her put away real good right in that moment until, they wouldn't have it out, like her out or anything, her remains out. But I mean, I guess who knows? I see where you're coming from because you're thinking about the whole sadistic and ritual type thing, maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I'm more likely to think it was about drugs or something like that they didn't want to show. She's alive. Look at the reflection. No, I know leak anything, but I'm thinking they mean in terms of like, okay, just make sure nothing's showing, like something illegal that they're doing. I don't know if they were just because remember he was hesitant about turning the camera over. Like, is anything showing? Like we got everything put away, right? So it was probably in general, like drugs, whatever illegal stuff they were into. I don't know though. We did look. We rewound it. This is in July. We see. You're saying a reflection. She's still alive. You think? I mean, we see the three girls. I mean, we seen the older Celeste is there. We already saw that. Were you here about 10 minutes, like about 5-10 minutes ago? The older Celeste is 100% back there. David turns the camera around and he's like, oh, sorry. So we know the Celeste H is there. I don't think that the other Celeste is alive at the time. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But do you think like I don't know. I don't think he meant that like she was actually leaking in my opinion. I think it was more leaking like anything out. I don't know why he used that term, but is anything out that we're gonna I don't think it was the address, what they were trying to say, oh, leaking the address. I think it was just illegal stuff, making sure that everything was put away. Like, ooh, is it okay to turn it around? Unless if guys, the thing that could make sense if Celeste really was alive and we all know how they were making sure to keep her hidden because she was a minor and missing or whatever. Unless if Celeste was still alive and they're making sure she was away when they turned the camera around. I mean, there still is a small chance that she was. I know the new stuff that came out, she probably wasn't, but I mean, I don't know. Are we sure that live stream was from July? We're sure that they live streamed that in July? Did it say on there? I can't remember. Because that was Twitch, right? Did anybody go back on Twitch and see was that on July? Yeah, but we know the older Celeste is there. So are you sure you're not just seeing the older Celeste though? Oh, that's right. They did say 4th of July. You're right, Flojo. Okay. You're right. I mean, yeah, we could watch it again, but we know just keep in mind that we know the older Celeste there because he accidentally turned the camera around when he shouldn't. And I just went through it and we paused it. We saw the older Celeste. So is that what she has sunglasses and a red like a red dress on, I think, if I'm remembering right. Now I don't know. She could have took her glasses off after. So I don't know if she still had it. Let me see here. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me look through my email. Give me 1 second. And it did seem like when he turned around on the older Celeste, she was kind of upset that she didn't want to be on camera for some reason. Oh, shoot. Who is that standing there? Is the Celeste still alive? Is that what you're saying? Who's that person standing there on the screenshot you gave me? I'm probably focusing on something oh, yeah. There's a bunch of stuff on the table. I bet there was like drugs and stuff. These screenshots you sent me, I'm sure you're probably thinking something different than what I'm thinking on them. I'm thinking, I want to know what's on that table. I bet you that's something they're concerned about. Who is that person standing there? Why does that look weird? That person standing there. All right, hold on. Let me download these and I'll show you what Catalina sent me. And then you want to, hold on. I don't understand. What's the significance of the candle, though? I don't know, guys.
Did you guys know that me and David are actually related?
My second cousin.
Yeah.
Me and Asia go to like the same family functions. Like we go on road trips. Like she's in the backseat type. Low key,
Backseat.
I'll be there too, bro. So I'm driving. You're driving. I'm missing inside. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see her driving. I was like, there's no driving there. My fault.
Are you done?
Yeah.
He was a fairy. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
I have to take one piss before we leave.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
it?
David.
No. It's
No.
not.
No. Who's that? Let me know when to call over.
What was that reaction?
No.
Let me go over.
Oh, dude, it's so
I
tragic.
want you to go under like an alias and make a whole different like genre of music to see if you can blow up again.
I'll be right.
Your rapper name? Big D. Big D's good. That's what I love you like I do. Big D.
You like it or not?
You.
Like it or not?
Why is Kim?
You know the glass door is just reflecting them, though. Are you talking about this glass door? It was reflecting that other girl that was in there. It was reflecting her. It's reflecting them, a lot of them. Look. Like that's her. That's him. And then that's her. That's Neo. So I don't understand.
Like it or not?
Why is Keanu Reeves singing?
Yo, Keanu, you?
I guess
You
so.
grow your beard.
I can't. Well, I can try. You know, oil farming low key. Am I?
Got
I got
water. Got a lot of water.
That's not water.
Got a lot of water. So much water.
That's not.
There's water.
Yeah, we already went over that though. What do you, I mean, I don't understand what you're saying. Yeah, I know. We went slow motion. That's what we talked about that already though. I'm confused. I made a whole thing, I rewound it, and put it in slow motion. We saw that. I mean, we'll slow it down again.
A little bit of water.
Okay.
Those are mine. Those are mine. Not
My
yours.
eyes are up here.
No, wait, Celeste.
You know what the liquid's up?
That's water, guys. It's water. What is this?
Can you put that in the bag?
You got drugs?
Oh, wait, let me empty out my pills again.
You put this in the bag too?
Let's see on mine. I have a lot of pills.
Can you put?
How's nails current bag?
Fuck you, bro. I'm looking at your packing it, bro. Go fuck yourself.
Wait, did he just say I have a lot of pills in here? And you're like, oh, like it's Neo's bag. Like if you guys, is that what they were talking about? Like if it gets in trouble, he's the one that's gonna get in trouble, like for having drugs. Is that what? Because did you hear not David say I have a lot of pills in there? I know they were talking about the medicine at first, but then David's like something about having pills there, and she's like, oh, that's Neo's bag. I don't care. And he's like, screw you, like insinuating what if they're gonna get in trouble. Let me go listen to that again because I swear drugs is the issue too. They're talking about. I feel like.
You put this in the bag too?
Let's see on mine. I have a lot of pills.
You put?
How's nails current bag?
See, that's exactly what they were talking about. It's like I got a lot of pills, and she like her eyes got all big, like pills. It's like, well, it's Neo's bag.
You're packing it, bro. Go fuck yourself. I don't even get paid, guys. I'm not even getting paid for this bullshit, bro. Fuck this, bro. Fuck all y'all, dead ass.
Oh. No. Can you make up? Yeah.
ABC. Oh, yes.
Paid
I
exposure?
apologize in
Okay.
advance for the way my bad.
Wait, is a lot of you guys think Celeste was still alive here? I'm confused what you're saying, Kings women. I thought most of us thought she was already gone by now. Who thinks she's still alive in July this year? Is there like a lot of people that think she actually is still alive?
I didn't smell it. I took a shit there like 2 hours ago.
I don't care. I just took a shit.
Another one? Type shit. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yo. I know. Yeah, you want to
You're still not dressed, Guapo says. Hey guys, we're about to leave soon.
Everybody is dressed.
We're all chilling, bro. We gotta go.
There's no
We
light.
gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Asia's slaying with that belly button ring. Hey!
Hey, one funny ways.
Are you just
One
looking
funny
at it?
ways.
Unfortunately, they did get infected.
The problem with that?
You're not locking anything over it?
Belly button watcher?
Probably.
He's a belly button watcher. That's crazy.
I'm so glad that she healed up. Though.
You might need to put it on once we get there. Like maybe I thought
How far is the face?
maybe.
Alice?
Oh wait, what? I think
Not
you just
too
need to
far.
plug it in first.
No, come in. You gotta show your face. You gotta show your face. You gotta show your face. Is this too much? Is that, okay, you saw clips, is that too much for a face party? 4th of July like that?
I say, never too much. Never too much.
Why doesn't that other Celeste want to show her face? I don't understand. Like, she's in all those pictures with him. Like, why is she like all weird about showing her face? Huh?
Stop, never too much. Never too much.
What did they say? What did they say?
They said no.
Okay, thank you guys.
Never too much. I'm about to pop my titties too. Swamp is on. Once we get there, I'll pop my titties.
Okay, I mean, promise
But a bitch ain't one.
Oh, that said you fine. Oh.
That's my dad's favorite song.
For free? David will do a lot for free.
I do a lot for free, twin.
Why are you grabbing my shoulders when you say that?
Yeah.
I do a lot.
What was it?
Oh. I mean, hey, we should bring that girl up last night. Yo. Cool. All right, bro. I gotta either shave.
So we saw Celeste just walk by in the background. Celeste H. I just saw her right there. She just walked. Okay, let's see.
Again, or let the goatee grow back out because I'm looking kind of crazy right now, son. I don't like the way I look right now. I look crazy.
Okay, so that's Celeste H.
Oh.
I'll turn it on slow. I don't know your Kingswoman. I'm not sure what you're. If you want to look at it again. I don't think Celeste Rivas is here, to be honest, alive in this. But okay. Yeah, that's the Celeste H. And you got Neo and the other two girls right there. That's still Celeste H.
Oh.
Oh, wonder if they're the type that they just made like cuts on themselves on purpose. You know, I could see them like doing like blood, like changing blood or something. Who knows? No, it is Celeste H because she has that Hello Kitty tattoo on her arm. And oh gosh, I could find that picture, but I wasn't planning on going through my files. I just don't want to get a headache, but I guess while we're watching Nancy Grace, I'll find the picture of Celeste H. She has a Hello Kitty tattoo, the same Hello Kitty tattoo right here. This is a Hello Kitty tattoo. You don't think that's Celeste H? Okay, well, you're one of okay. I mean, so you think she's still alive? Well, I mean, in this video, okay. Well, that's all right. You could think what you want. I don't know. I don't think she's. That's her, but it's okay. That's fine that you think that. But I think I'm gonna play the next video. Is there anything else you want me to find here? I mean, where are you seeing a curly hair girl? I mean, that's her right there. I don't know. I don't see a curly hair girl.
Oh.
It does make me wonder why he's like, oh, sorry, like, but it's obviously something that he didn't care if he showed, in my opinion. Like, he wasn't worried about showing it. So if it was Celeste, he would be more concerned about showing her. It's something that they didn't want to show, which I think is just the other Celeste's face. Because, like, if it was the other Celeste, he would have been more cautious in turning the camera, and he would be the one not one to show her. He was like one of those like, oh, I don't care, but then she's like, oh, don't, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. If you don't want to be seen, type thing. Like, so I think it was Celeste H didn't want to be on camera for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, maybe there's something relevant to why, but I don't know if we'll ever figure that one out. Okay, so hold on. Let me. Well, let's look through his glasses. You can see a reflection of his glasses.
Sexy boy right there. Sexy.
Okay, so that's, well, they put some clothes on. Okay, we have somebody with a hoodie with a pink bag. I believe that would be too tall for Celeste, to be honest, though. I think this might be Asia. Maybe she put a shirt on. This is that other girl for sure. I don't know who this is, but I believe that would be, she'd be too tall to be the Celeste Rivas. So I don't know. No, I know what you meant. I know what you meant, Kings, but I don't see the same thing you see. I just disagree. I'm just looking through other spots now to see if we find anything new. That's all. I knew exactly the spot you were looking me to stop. I just don't see it. But do you guys know who this is? And do you think this is Asia when she put a shirt on? Because she did. If this isn't Asia, then this is another girl that's there and doesn't. I mean, I don't think that's Celeste, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Sometimes she does pull her hair up like that. I do think Celeste was gone by then, but I mean, I guess it is still not 100% sure. But I don't know who this is. And I don't know who this is, but I can tell you this one doesn't seem like that's Celeste, but I don't know about. Oh, it's the boys? Well, but he doesn't have a hood on. Nobody has a hood on though. Are you sure? Doesn't it looks like this person has a hood? Oh, he does have a pink bag. Okay. It's the hood that threw me off. His hair looks like a gosh darn hood. It's got to be them. You're right. But does that not look like a hood? See, I have it on a big screen. The closer you see it, the more it looks like a hood, I feel like. Wow. Okay. So, well, it probably is them. That don't even look like David. This hair looks like poofier in the back. I believe that it is, but it's just, wow, that does not, it don't look like him that much. Let's see, is his arm going around him? Yep, his arm's going around him. Okay. Yep.
Sexy me right there. When I'm I'm David's one and only Asian, bro. No one else, just me and David. I'm the only Asian for him. The carnivores, always smile.
sorry, I just feel like it's a good way so we catch more things, slow motion. I want to be able to see everything slow to see if there's anything in the background we catch. So I could turn off the audio if you want, but it doesn't really bother me. Is it bothering you guys?
All you gotta do is like, follow, subscribe. Something wants to get 25 subs, you get PS5. Guys, let's keep this camera in. Look at this. Look at this fucking candle. Look at this fucking. What are we doing, bro? Hold up. Can I flip the screen here? Is there anything leaking? Okay.
Oh, that was David's legs. Okay. Um, so I got a bunch of stuff. I don't know what's on the table. They probably have all the drugs put up, I bet. But I think that's what he was nervous about, in my opinion. They have they're partying it up. They're going to a party. They've probably been partying it up, and they just wanted to, I feel like he just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything out. But I do think Neo knows. I mean, on top, I think there's a good chance they all might know, to be honest. So I'm not saying that. I'm not sure if that's what they're worried about showing on the camera. That's all. I still am not convinced that's what it is. I think it's more drug related. You said the carpet. What are we looking at the carpet? I know there's some marks there, but I mean, I feel like they're the type that does arts and crafts. They probably have paint everywhere. Like, not arts and crafts, but I mean, like, I could see them having paint and different things all over. Um, Dude, were you guys under the impression, and I don't know why, because I don't think they even said anything, but were you under the impression that when they searched the mansion, that they didn't really find any like DNA or blood? I don't know why in my head I was thinking that they didn't find anything there. And in my head, I was thinking that they probably dismembered her somewhere else. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I just have a feeling that there wasn't like blood or anything in here. At least afterwards, they either cleaned it up or they did it somewhere else. The other house, or I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. I could have just been assuming that, but maybe I was just in my head, I figured if there was blood, they would have made an arrest by now, but that's not, I guess it's not the case because they found DNA in the Barry Morphew in the house and they didn't arrest him right away. So I don't know. Okay, let me finish this. Wait, Floja, are you thinking there's blood or something on the carpet? You should take a look at the carpet. Why? Do you think there's something, you think that's blood? I don't know. Do they have the TV propped up on the chair? Or is that just the angle it looks like that? It doesn't look like that's laying on the chair. It can't be. I think it just looks like that. Or is it? Wait a minute. What the heck? So they got red, like decoration type things over here. I don't know what those are. It's probably for that, I saw that big floor thing that he has in some of those pictures. That's in the room. Did you guys saw that too, right? From these pictures right here. Actually, I used one of my thumbnails was a picture of him taken from him standing in front of that big 4 with the circle. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I see that in their living room. That's what I'm saying. I feel like they have a lot of crap, mess and stuff like that, paint or maybe decoration or stuff from pictures and stuff like that. As far as like that, whatever those spots are on the rug. But I'm not even sure if that's what you're referring to, Flojo. You said look at the rug, and I haven't got to see your response. I'm sorry. I'm just looking. I'm like trying to find these pictures. This right here, that thing. You could see that in his room. That he walked past it.
Yeah.
Okay, Flojo, let me see what you said about that.
Address is 420 Street.
Oh, you didn't respond. Huh.
69420 Street. Apartment number.
Does he have some kind of paint, like puffy paint on his side of his neck? It almost looks like it's some kind of either puffy sticker or paint that's like puffy or something.
6969.
He's probably freaking out because I think he's going to be an accomplice. Because now, do I think he maybe took part in the murder? No, not necessarily, but I think somebody helped conceal or help to cover up the cleanup. And now that we know, at least from the hints that SF investigates throughout there, that Neo was probably allegedly the driver that moved that Tesla the last time. I do think, and it does seem like they were pretty close. Them two were buddies, probably always together a lot, you know. So I do think he possibly helped to at least clean it up. He's probably freaking out right now. Well, you know, when there's a dead miner, you don't help your friend. You freaking do the right thing and you call the cops. Or you tell them, hey, David, you either call the cops or I'm going to go to the cops. I'll give you the chance to go first. I'm not going to be a part of it. So I'll give you like maybe a few days if you want to go tell them, but I'm not going to be a part of it.
I mean, when we get in the car, just cover the camera.
Yeah. It's some kind of rug. It could be like a tar. I don't know if it's a tar. It like almost looks like one of those, almost like a sheet or something. But it's almost like they're using it as a rug or something. It's not carpet. Did I call it carpet? I meant to call it like a rug. If I said carpet, I don't know. But I don't. I think you guys in chat are just talking to each other. So sorry. Sometimes I always think everybody's comments to me, and then I'll respond to it. But half the time, you guys are just talking to each other. So, and that's fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But if I respond and it's not to me, just be patient because I don't know. Sometimes I take things and like halfway through the conversation, if I'm scrolling down and I miss the whole conversation. Who's being ignorant? What? Look at her. She's they're high. I mean, they're not like necessarily like the real strung out, like noticeable, but to me, it's noticeable. They're definitely on something. Maybe multiple things, you know, just partying it up like kids do sometimes. I'm not promoting. I'm just saying I've been there and And now I'm not there because mine got out too out of control. But I feel like I could spot it. I feel like they're just having a good time and they're nervous. It seems like they're a bit paranoid, a little bit. So I don't know. I'm almost thinking it could be some kind of hallucinogen, maybe ecstasy. One of those ecstasies is kind of like a trippy type mix. Because it doesn't feel like they're tripping really hard, but it's like they're a little bit kind of, I feel like in a way, but yet feeling good in a way. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like, yeah, they're definitely on some stuff, maybe a couple things, in my opinion, allegedly, I should say. Um, what are you guys talking about? Straightening hair and stuff. What? What? You guys chill out. I don't even know what the chat is talking about, but it seems like it's a silly argument. I don't get it. All right. All right, let's watch let me watch the Nancy Grace that I was gonna watch. Is there anything else you want to watch on that? Did I miss something? I feel like we hit, I think we caught everything. Pretty much. Oh, Catalina, what was the picture about what were you referring to about the candle? That's one thing I didn't understand what you're trying to say. I noticed there was a little dirt spot or dark spot in the candle, but I mean, sometimes that happens. I don't think that's anything. I don't know. What is that what you were trying to point out or no? Maybe message in the chat and hopefully I'll see it because I didn't totally get that one. It is. I like that pink candle though. Yeah. They might all be going down, guys. Because just being an association and knowing about something, like if it's a murder, knowing about it is almost just as bad as far as on a legal perspective. Like you could do a lot of time for that. They're probably shaking if they knew about it and helped or whatever. Now, if any of them had no idea, then maybe they're not that nervous. But if they knew anything, I bet you they are freaking out. Should be. I mean, they should have told somebody. They should have basically told him, "Hey, you better come clean. You better go, or I'm out." Okay. Nancy. Wait, is this the one I wanted to watch first? There's two Nancy Graces. And I skimmed through both of them, and one of them was better than the other as far as I don't remember. Hopefully, this is the one. I think it's the newer one. Yeah, I think it's this one. I don't know. Okay, here we go.
Emerging from sources within the LAPD that musician David Anthony Burke, aka D4VD, David, is finally being viewed as a suspect in the murder of teen girl Celeste's death. As we all recall, her body found largely decomposed in his trunk. That vehicle moved and moved and moved from one spot to the next within a ritzy neighborhood. Why? Because we know the owners of those mega mansions would report the filthy car as being parked outside their home. So someone was moving and moving and moving D4VD's Tesla inside Celeste's decomposing body. What has changed? What has happened? Why is D4VD, David, now reportedly being viewed as a suspect? Will this result in murder charges? How can this be without a toxicology report as of yet? But to Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, what I consider to be really validating what many court viewers knew, that D4VD is being considered as a suspect, although it has not been officially announced, is the change in the timeline. Now we are learning that police sources believe Celeste was killed back in the spring. And bombshell tonight, police also looking at a road trip taken into a remote area by D4VD in the spring, where he stayed in that remote area for hours before returning back. I can only assume this information is coming from his nav system, or is there a rat within Burke's camp? Because tonight I definitely smell a rat. Let's start at the beginning, Dave Mack. What do you know?
Well, Nancy, we know that D4VD took a trip to Santa Barbara County, which is about 100 miles from the house that he was renting and taking about 2 hours to drive, okay? So he takes this drive in the middle of the night in the spring of this year, and he stays there for a couple of hours. Now, they say remote area of Santa Barbara. If you've ever been to Santa Barbara, remote area can include probably 80% of the surrounding area. Big area, and you can actually be there and not be seen for a long time. He was there for hours. Now, they're also saying they believe, I'm talking about the police investigation is saying to this source, they believe Celeste died sometime in the spring of 2025. So we have Burke driving in the middle of the night to Santa Barbara County in the spring of 2025. And we have them saying Celeste died in the spring 2025. That's for starters, Nancy. This is a bombshell.
That is major, Dave Mack. I know that the headlines all across the world are D4VD David Anthony Burke as finally being viewed as a suspect, although LAPD is not confirming that. To me, the real bombshell tonight is that we believe she was killed back in the spring. What efforts were being taken by those within D4VD's camp to conceal her death, pretending she was still alive? That's what we're looking at tonight. This is a major change in the investigation, Dave Mack. Straight out to Professor of Forensics, Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet on Amazon, and star of a hit new series, Body Bags, with Joseph Scott Morgan, joining us, death investigator who has investigated literally thousands of deaths, not just homicides, suicide, natural causes, accident, unexplained, and of course, homicide. This is very confusing to us on the outside looking in, Joe Scott, but the reality is, I'm sure the medical examiner, when she saw the remains, could very likely state, oh no, this child has been dead since the spring. You know, we were working off a timeline, putting her alive as late as September. So what would be the difference, Joe Scott? I know this is a tough question. There's a lot of variables in Celeste's decomposing body. And guys, I'm sorry that we are talking so analytically and clinically about a little girl, Celeste, but this is what the trial will boil down to, if there ever is a trial. Her decomposed remains. Joe Scott, if her body had been decomposing since September, as opposed to the spring, months before, what would be different when the medical examiner opened those bags?
I'll tell you precisely, and this is one of the reasons we still don't have a cause of death, is the fact that, put this in as delicate terms as possible, the tissue remaining on her body would have the consistency, perhaps, of Jell-O, all right? It will have broken down to a point where some of her remains will have been liquefied to that point, if in fact this new timeline is in effect. And that's going to impact a variety of different areas. Like, say, for instance, Nancy, we're looking for soft tissue trauma, like contusions, or even to a certain degree, things like sharp-edged weapons, or even bullet defects. That's going to compromise your ability to visualize those things. So you have to be reliant, and I can almost tell you.
Slow down, Joe Scott.
Yeah.
Can I put it in regular people talk?
Yeah, sure.
I don't see it so much as Jell-O. It's more like, did your children ever make slime?
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what slime is? That gooey junk children make. It's a little thicker than Jell-O.
Yeah.
But when you pick it up, it's goo. Thicker than Jell-O. I think what you're saying is that if her body had been in that trunk since the spring, she would be gelatinous, like
Yes.
goo.
Yeah.
And therefore, if she had decomposed to that point, you listed several things. I'd like you to go back over it again, if you don't mind. If that is the state of her remains, how in the world can we find a knife mark, a bullet wound, a soft tissue marking such as a bruise or a subcutaneous hemorrhage?
Yep.
It's all gone.
Yeah, we retreat back to this idea of doing X-rays, and what you're going to be looking at potentially, Nancy, is insults to the underlying skeletal structure. Okay, so if you think about, like, if we talk about a knife wound, for instance, it's going to be, knife wounds, just like projectiles fired from a weapon, actually have a wound track where you follow kind of the hemorrhage line that goes. What you're hoping for in a case like this is to see if there's any kind of indwelling trauma on the surface of the bony structures. And that can easily be documented. Nancy, when they would have removed these bags, and everybody needs to really grab hold of this, they would have x-rayed the contents of these bags ever before they actually removed the remains from the bags. To this point,
Let me see
we
him.
don't really.
Let me see him. Hold on.
Yeah.
So, okay. Here's another thing. Everybody on the panel hear this. Joe Scott, stay with me.
Yeah.
According to a source within the LAPD, it was obvious when they saw the bags that she had been dismembered. Now, we are left to interpret that. So, dismembered she was, according to the source. So, Joe Scott, you're telling me that when we get the body to the morgue, and remember, they likely take the body out of the Tesla, load it on to the morgue vehicle. So it's getting jostled, gets to the morgue. You're saying before her remains are removed from the bag and or bags, they're x-rayed inside the bag. Why?
Yeah. In situ, because you don't want to lose anything, Nancy. That bag is essentially all you have that's holding everything together at that point. And I've had cases like this where the bags have actually ruptured. That's a total nightmare for you. And can I point out one more thing, Nancy? Because I was just talking about sharp force here, and I don't know that that's involved. I do know that if we're talking about dismemberment, that sharp force in the post-mortem state, that means after death, sharp force is involved in that. So this even further complicates, how do you delineate between what happened prior to death and what we call the antemortem state, and what happened after death in the post-mortem state? This just kind of doubles the problem here for LA County Coroner. And they've got a great staff. They see all
I got to make a note
kinds
of that, and I'm going to come back to Joanne Nieves on how I believe they're going to determine if it's post-mortem dismemberment or an injury while she's still alive.
Yes.
I told you I smell a rat. Somebody's going to be singing, if not tonight, in the near future, because we know, according to the leak, he, the killer, did not do this alone. He had to have help dismembering the body, according to the report. In a state of her remains, Joe Scott, if she is in fact dead since the spring, which coincides with that late night trip out to the remote area near Santa Barbara, you're going to have a witness. You're going to have somebody wrapped. Now, that would be the nature of her remains if she was killed back in the spring. Okay.
Correct.
Now, how would it differ if she was killed in September, which is what we were led to believe? And I want to tell you one of the reasons we were led to believe that. Listen.
From the time it was moved to that last spot, which is on Bluebird. So on July 29th, when I saw it, that was like 11 in the morning. Later that evening, they begin the tour, and they actually leave that evening for San Francisco for the first show.
So there you go. To Moses Castillo joining us, private investigator for the Dordulian Law Group, former supervising detective from LAPD. I bet they are spinning like a top over this leak tonight. That's a whole nother can of worms. That's their problem. I'm concerned with the timeline. We were misled, not on purpose, but because of when the car, the Tesla, was first parked on that street. that was a different date. It was not back in the spring. It was much more recent. And many people naturally assumed that is when the death occurred. But we're wrong. We're wrong. And now we're learning that authorities believe this child was killed all the way back in the spring. That changes everything, Moses.
Yes, absolutely, Nancy. I think the police are going way back to the very first time she was reported missing and trying to establish a timeline. Who saw her during that time period? Who saw her shortly thereafter? And they're following every GPS data on that Tesla, and that's how they found that area about Santa Barbara County.
What do you think about the leak, Moses Castillo? This is your department. You were years with the LAPD. Why is this leaking now?
Well, they want to stir the pot. They want to get the attention out there because maybe they reached the point in their investigation where they need help from the public. Like you said earlier, so there's a rat. Somebody out there has information that could help the detectives solve this case and bring justice to Celeste and her family. And that, I think, is a strategy that is in play here.
Listen.
Shocking new information from Fisher. Celeste was in contact with a family member in early July, weeks before the Tesla was parked on the street. P.I. Fisher is baffled that Burke has not made any public comment about Celeste's body being found in his car and hasn't offered condolences of any kind. Burke's tour continued after the car was towed and body found and was only canceled when the remains were identified as Celeste. So far, the police have no suspect or person of interest.
Dave Mack, joining us, Crime Stories investigative reporter. That report was based on information we believe came from members within D4VD's camp, that Celeste had been in touch with her family. Mm-hmm. That has not been verified with the family, which leads me to wonder, has there been a gigantic ruse to suggest Celeste was still alive when in fact she was dead, much like the Gabby Petito ruse affected by Brian Laundrie. And remember when he was coming across the country in Gabby Petito's van, right, texting her family as if he's Gabby Petito? And this contact that was allegedly made by Celeste to her family, we don't know if it was a message, a text, an email. It could have been anything or nothing. So are we looking at the possibility this child was killed in the spring and then a cover-up ensued, making people believe she was still alive? That's evil, Dave Mack.
Nancy, I think they went so far as to remember the concert in Silver Springs, Maryland on August 24th, where there was a Celeste Rivas lookalike that was in the backstage area up on the balcony looking down on the concert, dressed in the same clothing that has been described as was on the dismembered remains found in that Tesla. I think this is part of that story. See, they're trying to put it out there saying, see, she's there. She was at that concert. But in reality, we don't have confirmation that she died.
You know what else, Dave Mack? All along, there were people online saying that's not Celeste. But she was wearing Celeste's tube top and Celeste ripped jeans. She had her hair done like Celeste from the get-go. And we're showing you the video there. And in the circle, there is either Celeste or Celeste lookalike. But it seems so far-fetched that it would not be Celeste. Look at this. We were warned. There were red flags, ringing bells of alarm, people saying that's not Celeste. You know, to Dr. Geraldine Utter joining us, clinical psychologist specializing in cases just like this. She is the author of Maintaining Philly, Survival, Hope, and Resisting Drug Addiction, and so much more. Doctor, thank you for being with us. That would be quite an elaborate cover-up, would it not?
Absolutely. It would be a very elaborate cover-up. But when you look at this situation with David, or D4VD, however you want to reference him, there's a lot of image protection. This is a young person that he was involved in, that was a child, that was a minor. He's an adult. and he's also trying to, make way of this big music career. So it's elaborate in the sense that he's trying to protect himself and his image, and the people around him are also trying to do that. Another thing that I just want to mention, Nancy, is the Tesla, the abandoned Tesla, is a huge red flag. Think about it. If he had any type of relationship with Celeste at all, any innocent person or person that had any type of empathy or remorse would at least, at the very least, offer condolences to the family. There's a lot of emotional flatness. There's a lot of what we call emotional compartmentalization, where this is classic avoidant behavior because he's trying to protect himself and his image. He doesn't really care, potentially, about what's happened to this poor girl. So when you look at it from a psychological perspective, you see secrecy, you see emotional flatness, you see emotional compartmentalization, with the main goal as to protect image.
Well, also to you, Dave Mack, joining us, Crime Stories investigative reporter. Speaking of a cover-up, did you see the photos we're just showing? There was a lengthy track record of covering up, because in most of the photos in which Celeste was featured, she's covering her face. What other girl, 13, 14, 15, do you know that typically covers their face in photos that are going to be posted? Time after time after time, a pocketbook, a hand, an iPhone, you name it. That was intentional. So the covering up has gone on for a long time. That right there is taken from a video which was then deleted.
From what we have found in looking into this investigation, there's no clear shot of Celeste Rivas with Burke at all. She's always got a hand up. There's always something blocking our view, so we can't identify her. And I'm telling you, this is so heavy-handed when you actually break it down. You're going, why didn't we see this earlier? Because they knew. I mean, Burke's 20 years old. We've got a girl here that turned 15 after her body was found in that Tesla. So back it up, and you're looking at, there are some people who believe that the relationship between Burke and Celeste began when she was 12, Nancy, and they have been practiced at preventing her from being photographed clearly with Burke ever since.
Joanna Nieves joining us, a veteran criminal defense attorney, founder of the Nieves Law Firm. A lot happening tonight. The timeline change is a massive, massive difference than what was thought before, and it changes all of the evidence. But Joanna Nieves, here's the thing. Isn't it true, when you've got a crime, bad enough to defend, it's hard enough, but when you have an elaborate cover-up, trying to make it look as if Celeste was still alive, a lot of people probably knew about that. That's not easy to cover your tracks for that many months. If that is in fact true, that could be the killer's undoing, the cover-up.
Absolutely, Nancy. I think the thing is, it would definitely be a major conspiracy for people to be participating and taking acts to cover up a crime in that fashion if there is evidence to support that. Right now, what we have is a tight-lipped law enforcement agency that isn't releasing a whole lot of information, and the reports that are going around are the suspicions and the hunches and what could possibly have happened. But the prosecution can't convict on the hunch, and we're just we need to see a bit more evidence to support any of those type of allegations, whether it's a huge cover-up.
What, you want more evidence for the dead
committed.
body decomposing in his trunk?
Yes, because we still don't even know, like you were talking about with the anti-mortem and post-mortem injuries, we don't know whether or not there were injuries to that body that would support that a crime of murder was actually committed. If all of these are post-mortem wounds, if anything like that is found, we can still argue mutilation, transport, concealment of the body, but are we really going to get to the crime of murder and whether or not D4VD is actually the person who committed that? Or does the nature of the involvement in the crime, maybe it was limited to a potential cover-up and involvement, maybe knowledge, but who committed the act if he's actually named as suspect and investigated for that crime.
The LAPD has been working on a timeline of activity for Celeste and Burke, and an insider with the police investigation says they've been able to determine that in the spring of this year, Burke took a secret trip in the middle of the night to a remote area of Santa Barbara County Burke remained in the area for several hours.
Finished playing that, but look, I was just watching this. What the heck's this? Let me see. Let's see. It's titled David Numbing Himself on Opioids, posted early May. Check his eyes out. Also wondering when Asia is going to flip and tell all. Remember what she said about how did she word it? Basically, somebody is evil. Did she say evil? But it was they were gonna end up talking. Oh my god, now I can't even think of the word she used, but it was gonna come out and the person was gonna be exposed, basically. What the heck does that mean? So does she know? Wait, why is there no audio? Hold on.
What the hell,
Oh shoot. I can't play that. Okay. Sorry. I shouldn't have interrupted it with that. I thought there was gonna be more. Like her eye. That's so creepy. Not creepy on her part, but it's like creepy in a sad way that it's like I don't know how to explain it, but it kind of gives me chills. Like you could see a part of her eye, and then his eye. It's makes me man, so mad, so mad.
Streaming first on Fox One. That's right. You can now watch all the new episodes of Crime Stories first with Fox One. We are so proud to have a partner who furthers our
Yet you continue on this world tour like nothing was found in your car.
How could somebody put a then 13-year-old little girl in a trunk and leave the car there for weeks on end?
As Burke becomes a suspect in the possible homicide of a child, police say it is likely Burke had help in dismembering and disposing of Celeste's body. Burke still has not made a public announcement about Celeste being found in his car, and after initially saying Burke was cooperating with the investigation, the singer has not been cooperative during the last 2 months.
Bombshell tonight, according to sources within the LAPD, says KNBC, D4VD, aka David Anthony Burke, is being investigated as a suspect in the death of teen girl Celeste Rivas. We are also learning, contrary to prior reports, that he has not been cooperative throughout the investigation. And I'm just curious, does it have anything to do with this?
Not at all. My dad is a litigator for a law firm. My
Okay.
mother was a teacher.
Okay.
She doesn't do it anymore, but she does notary now.
That is from, and the writer is on YouTube. So, I mean, think about it. To Moses Castillo joining me, former LAPD, you got a trial lawyer for a dad, according to Burke himself, and a notary as a mom. I guess they did tell him to shut his pie hole. He hasn't said a word. Now, what can be used at trial are all actions, behavior, patterns before, during, and after a crime. Under the law, of course, a defendant has a right to remain silent. But if she really went missing all the way back in the spring and he never said a word, that's damning. Do you agree?
Absolutely, I agree. Not only him not saying anything, but his actions of transferring. There's some reports of he's transferring his properties to his mom under his mom's name. What does that tell you? That he's afraid of potential civil litigation of a wrongful death lawsuit. So all that points to a consciousness of guilt in my mind. And Nancy, every day there's justice delayed, is justice denied, and we need to fight for transparency, and we need this done so that we could get whoever's responsible accountable.
Well, I appreciate that sermon. I do. But what I'd like to point out, Moses Castillo, is that every day that goes by, we lose evidence. We lose witnesses. Evidence is cleaned away from the home. I heard that it's been professionally cleaned now. All that evidence is gone. To Joe Scott Morgan joining us, death investigator. Joe Scott, the dismemberment of a body is no easy thing. And I wonder, where the body was dismembered. We know LAPD combed D4VD's mansion. We've had cases, and you and I have investigated them and covered them, where you actually see on camera, on surveillance video, someone taking a body out of the home.
Yep.
We've watched that, including the body of a teen girl. This is video of a little girl, Miranda Corset, out of Florida. You see her walking into the murder defendant's home and being carried out in a blanket. Does surveillance video around the home, the mansion of David Anthony Burke, show the last time Celeste Rivas left his home? Like Miranda, did she walk in and get carried out? And if so, when? And this is not just about Burke's video. What about neighbors' surveillance video? Don't forget, his Tesla has 360-degree cameras. Who loaded her in the trunk? Or has the info stick been removed from the car and destroyed? Was the body dismembered in that mansion, or was it taken out to, for instance, a remote area outside Santa Barbara and dismembered? To Joe Scott Morgan, don't you think there would be evidence inside the mansion if the body was dismembered there?
Yeah, and we still don't know, what they have found. And so here's what you're looking at with dismemberment, Nancy. One of the things that's always left behind is going to be obviously blood deposition. Now that can either be with velocity. Say I've worked cases involving like power tools, and it distributes much like a firearm would. Okay. Also, you're going to have elements like bone dust that people don't think about, just like sawdust that's created with bone. One thing that you do need, though, is you need privacy. You need generally an electrical source, unless you're using hand tools. And you do not need to be bothered in any way while you're doing this. The individuals that would have been involved in this process would have also be covered in tissue themselves. So it's a big, big mess. It's even bigger, say, for instance, in cases we've covered where it's a bludgeoning or just a straight up stabbing, because now you're going even further. I think one of the questions that I have, was there a place that she could have been taken either in the postmortem state or the antemortem state to facilitate this? And also, if they had panicked, for instance, after they started this process, if she was stowed in another location and then brought back, and the Tesla happened to be the spot that they landed on. Okay, we're going to put her in the Tesla after we've had her in this location. The body begins to become foul. They can't keep her in the house any longer or at some other isolated location where she can be found. So there's a lot of movement that's going on here, and it's going to be very, very difficult to track this. The big thing is looking for trace evidence back in that primary residence. And then if they can locate that location out in Santa Barbara County somewhere, is there anything that of value there that may have been left behind?
I've been thinking about the condition of her body. Those mansion photos were from our friend Harvey Levin over at TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine, since soft tissue is the first thing to go, that there's no way we're going to be able to determine from the petechia in her eyes whether she was asphyxiated. No way. That's gone. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, to a certain degree. I have seen petechiae in advanced decomposition. Nancy, I got to make a confession here. There's something that's just like eating at me right now that I'm thinking about what I'm really concerned about in this case. From a forensic standpoint, and that's going to be her tox. How are you going to land on an answer relative to tox? And if you can give me a little latitude here, one of the things that we do in cases of advanced decomposition, how we were talking about how the body begins to break down. We talked about this kind of gelatinous state that the body might be in. One of the things that's rather robust that you can go to is actually the liver, and to a certain degree, the brain as well. What we do is that what remains of the liver and the brain, we will take take samples of that and literally spin it down to the point where it liquefies, we can actually draw that up, Nancy, and get what's referred to as a qualitative finding, like were there any drugs in her system? I'm talking meth, coke, the standard panel that we run in the medical legal world. Now, here's the problem. You're not going to be able to get a quantitative amount, which is what we're looking for if we're thinking about OD, for instance. You can merely get a qualitative amount, and that says that these drugs were present. And the question now is, how in the hell is a young girl like this getting access to these substances that is under the direct care of an individual that is an adult in her life? Remember, she's not been with her family. So how is she getting access to these drugs?
Okay, let me boil down what you just said. Harsh reality is, even when a body is, for instance, mummified from being out in the desert or in some other difficult terrain, and the body literally dries up.
Yeah.
The internal organs, such as the liver, can be put in a blender with some form of liquid, such as saline maybe.
Yeah, centrifuge.
And liquefied.
Yeah.
You basically making a smoothie out of the internal organs. And from those organs, tox can be conducted. Toxicology labs can be conducted on that. So even if her remains are, as you said, jello, if she's been dead since the spring, even so, that test can still be run. But you're saying you can't get a quantitative amount, which is the possibility of an overdose. You can't tell how much of it is in her system. Right. You can just determine it is in her system. But I got a problem with what you're saying. Okay. Here's the problem. To Dr. Geraldine Utter, we keep hearing discussions of maybe she OD'd. Why are we hearing that? If this was an accidental OD and anyone hoped to save her inside D4VD's mansion, they would have called 911. We don't want to think she was intentionally murdered. So we all come up with, it was likely an overdose, and they panicked and got rid of her body. Excuse me, panicked and dismembered her body and left it in a trunk? That's not what people do when you want to save someone's life, when someone has an accident. So reminiscent of little Keely Anthony. When Top Mom Casey Anthony wants us to believe Keely died in the pool, and then her dad decided, let's just put her in a trash bag and throw her in a swamp. That's a great idea. Instead of trying to revive her or have a funeral, that's total BS. So why do we want to believe this was an OD?
Because it feels better that way psychologically, Nancy. I mean, this is D4, VD or David, whatever you want to reference him as. He was somebody that was coming up in the ranks. He was beloved. He had a following. It feels better to have to think, this was an accident. I don't want to have to wrap my head around the fact person that I love and I admire and whose art or music I like did something like that. The other thing when it comes to overdose, to your point, if she had an accidental overdose, you would think that people would rush right away to call the police. Sadly, we don't see it as often as we'd like to see it because people panic. And usually what they'll do is they might drive to an emergency room and just kind of drop someone off, or they might move her while she's still alive and overdose and put her on the sidewalk and call. To your point, the fact that we moved to dismemberment really just, it kind of makes you think, hey, maybe there was more foul play, not just simply an overdose. Your earlier question, we believe that people are capable of doing evil, terrible things. And again, someone who was an artist that was coming up through the ranks. Another thing we want to think of is she is a child. She is a minor. So there's so many layers to self-protection, self-preservation, and protecting his image potentially that are involved in a case like this. But to your point, if it was an overdose, there were 10 million other things that could have been done to protect, quote unquote, him and his camp while also trying to get this young child help.
Shocking information uncovered by the LAPD has the investigation spotlight finally pointing on Burke. Investigators have developed new information that leads them to believe Celeste likely died in the spring of this year, and the death is being tentatively treated as a possible homicide, but officials are waiting on an official cause of death from the medical examiner.
Holidays are just around the corner. Many people can be home addicted 8 financing as to what as a musician is finally being considered as a suspect in the death of a little girl, teen girl Celeste, found decomposing in his vehicle. The bombshell, not that he's being considered a suspect, reportedly. Many people already considered him a suspect, or at least a POI, person of interest. But the timeline, this is a seismic shift. Now we are learning police believe this little girl died back in the spring, not in the fall, not in September when her body was found, but many months before that. I'm going to circle back to Joe Scott Morgan with the possibility she was dismembered in the desert outside, in the terrain outside Santa Barbara, and what that would mean forensically if dirt or soil could be found in that Tesla trunk from that area. What would that prove? But here's one of the reasons the timeline was off.
It's a little weird to see a car that I haven't seen here for a long time. Had a big dent on it, had a Texas plate on it. So all a little odd.
One neighbor says the distinct-looking Tesla was parked on the street for some time in front of the house that was searched, and later in 2 other spots on the street. The vehicle stood out because it has a Texas plate and a big dent.
From our friends at WABC, straight back out to Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter. This is a seismic shift, the timeline, and it opens up the possibility that there was not just a murder, a cover-up, but a very long cover-up that lasted for months and was quite elaborate, suggesting that Celeste was still alive, thereby hiding the fact that she was dead and dismembered. So, Dave Mack, regarding the cover-up, regarding the trip out into a remote area, you've studied the map. What area are they referring to? What is the most obvious remote area outside Santa Barbara?
The one I'm looking at, Nancy, is Valley, which is a terrain that it's difficult to drive a car in. You're going to do a lot of hiking to get around there. It's underdeveloped, and it is an area that really and truly could be a place where you could be left alone for a long time. But Nancy, you mentioned the cover-up, okay? Think about this. When you're looking at that long game that includes the staged Celeste lookalike at the concert in August, think about his new album, Withered, was coming out April the 25th. They're now saying Celeste was dead in early spring. As we look at this whole thing where they're always blocking her face so you can't see how she looked, can't identify her, I hate to say this. Did they plan her death so that they could get her out of the way as the new album came out and he goes on his first world tour, and they replace her with a look and stage the whole thing?
To Justice Scott Morgan, try to erase Dave Mack's wacky conspiracy theory. Although, frankly, you know what? So much has changed in this case. Maybe it's not that wacky after all. Justice Scott Morgan, let's talk about that rugged area. If she was dismembered there with help, and I'm curious why LA law enforcement is saying that the killer had help dismembering her. That's another can of worms. But what would you expect to find on her body, on those bags, and possibly in the Tesla trunk?
Yeah, you had mentioned earlier, you begin to think of, there's an area within forensics where we have forensic geology, where we begin to take a look at soil samples, and that's contained within the trace evidence area at the state crime lab. So you actually can compare soil that is, say, for instance, if you're talking, this house is where he was renting, is essentially adjacent to Chateau Marmont, the famous place where Belushi died and all of those things went down all those years ago. Well, that geology in that area, the type of soil there is completely different than, say, this area where he is alleged to have gone. I got one more for you, Nancy. Remember, what are they saying? They're saying that there's a chance she may have gone missing in the spring. Guess what happens in the spring? You've got new bloom going on. So the flora, that is all of the plant life that is out in that area, there's a high potential that those species are completely different than you're going to find back in more coastal areas around LA. So in these bags, not only are they going to be looking for soil sample, they're also going to be looking for any kind of pollen that's on the body. That's another area with forensics that we look at relative to this. So there's a lot of evidence if they have taken their time with each one of these bags, with her body, any clothing that may have been on there, there's a chance that you can harvest information there that might tell you about her path, at least from a geographic standpoint.
I want you to see a live stream video of D4VD, David Anthony Burke, and Celeste, which has recently resurfaced. Watch.
Hey, wait.
Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer
Which
that.
one? What's good, David? Big fan. Big fan. Bro, thank you, Mitochondria.
I gotta stop with him if you even. We need to delete this.
Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
You know what that tells me? That, again, is a live stream video of David Anthony Burke and Celeste, which resurfaced. That D4VD, David Anthony Burke, is very aware of any incriminating evidence. He knows to delete it, get rid of it. Don't let it stay on the air. We know that there was a long history of covering Celeste's face whenever they were photographed together. What else, if anything, would he cover up? And I want to address something Joanna Nieves, veteran trial lawyer, said. She said, well, if the body is so decomposed, we may never know COD, cause of death, and therefore we won't know whether this was a murder. I want you to imagine something, Joanne. Go to the back recesses of your mind and imagine a sinking ship about to go under in a turbulent storm. Imagine rats, rodents running across the deck of the ship, not knowing what to do. A sinking ship with rats running across the deck. You don't think one of those rodents will grab onto anything to save its own skin? Yes, somebody within D4VD's camp knows exactly what happened. And we have learned from private investigator Steve Fisher, who can no longer comment, I imagine, because he's going to be a witness, that he saw who was driving the Tesla, parking it here, parking it there. Was it D4VD? I guarantee you he had a minion do that, a friend, and that friend knows everything. There were multiple people living in that mansion. Someone is going to try their best to save their own skin, like those rats on the ship deck, and they are going to rat out on David Anthony Burke.
Pressure bust pipes, and I agree with that. When your life and your livelihood is on the line, it is not difficult to apply the pressure and get somebody to break. Now, will that confession or that big reveal actually point to D4VD? That still remains unknown. Maybe he is aware. Obviously there is something going on, that there is a level of awareness and knowledge, but what we don't know is who the actual culprit was of what happened to Celeste.
Investigators have made contact with several people involved in the case, some more involved than others, but all in some capacity that leads detectives to believe they are certain they're going down the right path for a suspect. Even with the new information about the investigation, no one has been arrested, and the investigation is ongoing.
Okay. For that, I want to show you something I was looking at. Yeah. Look at this. Have you guys seen this? Hold on. Let me take this down. Look, where's it at? Where's it at? Here we go. Have you guys seen this unfollower account? So this is a David unfollower account, which is very interesting because look at this. Did you guys know TMZ followed David at one point? because they unfollowed him on the 19th, which means they were following him at some point, which is kind of weird if you ask me. But look, they're basically pointing out like all of the, you know, celebrities or musicians that unfollowed him. It's kind of interesting. Look, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys. Have you guys seen it? Because I just now seen it. I didn't even know this existed. How do I fit this in my header? Oh, I hate that crap one. Okay. So Elia Rose unfollowed October 2nd, Jody Lee October 2nd, Denzel Curry October 1st. A couple people followed him after that. Or I don't know. Okay, Kali Uchis October 1st. It says Kali Uchis has removed Crashing from her discography. This has removed it entirely from David's EP, making her the second artist to remove her collab. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Laufey has removed This Is How It Feels off her discography. Has also removed it from David's EP. Bankroll Hayden has seemingly refollowed David October 1st, so he must have unfollowed him and refollowed him. I don't know. DJ Scheme has unfollowed David for the second time. Red Veil has unfollowed David on September 30th. Bloody Clip unfollowed him September 30th. 9 Lives unfollowed him September 30th. Ian Dior unfollowed him September 30th. Lexus Gates the 30th. Egg Stacy unfollowed the 30th. DJ Scheme has seemingly refollowed September 23rd. So he unfollowed, refollowed, and then unfollowed again. Because remember, it said unfollowed the second time because this is going backwards. So in the conclusion, DJ Scheme is not following him anymore. SZA unfollowed him September 22nd. Cure, since people want to listen to his music and can't comprehend using Genius for the lyrics, I've decided to compile all 65 released David songs, including the feature into a zip file. Please stop streaming his music. On September 22nd, David earned the biggest streaming day of all time on Spotify, September 1st, with 12.1 million streams. Band Manrail has unfollowed him September 22nd. Latin Mafia unfollowed him the 22nd. BB No Money or something, I don't know. Or BB Nas or something. Unfollowed him the 22nd. Amelia Moore unfollowed him the 22nd. Zach Bia unfollowed him the 22nd. Damiano David unfollowed him the 22nd. Australia's Spilt Milk Festival has dropped David from their lineup of performers. That was September 22nd. The GoFundMe page created by Celeste family has surpassed the original goal of 20,000. Please continue to donate and spread awareness about the situation. So September 21st, it was at 22,667. David has canceled the last 2 shows of his tour. Many websites have removed the other remaining shows amid controversy surrounding 15-year-old Celeste at September 21st. Ivan Cornejo unfollowed him the 21st. Young Kai unfollowed him the 21st. Benny Blanco unfollowed him the 21st. Genius has unfollowed him the 21st. Nicholas Sterniolo unfollowed him the 21st. Roblox has removed David's name from the backflip emote. Sorry. Ludwig Agren has unfollowed him the 21st. Photographer Jamie Radical unfollowed him on the 21st. The Marias has unfollowed him 21st. Franco Cecilia Phase Replays unfollowed him the 21st. Kevin Abstract unfollowed him. Quadeca unfollowed him the 21st. Alan Jimenez, Shady Moon, unfollowed him on the 21st. Emma Myers unfollowed him the 21st. Julian Norton, Juno, has unfollowed him the 21st. Sailor unfollowed him the 21st. Omar Banos, Kuko, unfollowed him the 20th. Angelus has unfollowed him the 20th. adult content, huh? Matt and Chris Storniolo unfollowed him the 20th. Emily Cavalos unfollowed him the 20th. Zetra unfollowed him the 20th. Sabrina Casada unfollowed him. Josiah unfollowed him. One and Only has unfollowed him. Wyland has unfollowed him. This is September 20th. Adela Jurgova unfollowed him. Faye Webster unfollowed him. Johnny Hun. This is all on September 20th. They unfollowed him. Dominic Fike unfollowed him on the 20th. Role Model has unfollowed him. Ari Abdul unfollowed him September 20th. Rich Bryan unfollowed him. Vanilla Mace unfollowed him. Hayden Henderson. Montel Fish. Shabuzi all unfollowed him September 20th. Anna Shamate on the 20th unfollowed him. Steve Lacey unfollowed him on the 19th. I hope you're resting easy now that everyone knows what happened to you, sweet girl. I hope you know that none of this was your fault and that justice will be served. You are taken too young, Celeste. I'm sorry that people around you failed you, somebody wrote. I think the page. Ava Max unfollowed him the 19th. Maria Becerra, maybe? This unfollowed him the 19th. Nessa Barrett unfollowed him the 19th. Haley Kayoko unfollowed him. Madeline Argy unfollowed him. Ray unfollowed him. This is all on the 19th. Phineas from Billie Eilish's brother from there. He unfollowed him the 19th. DJ Scheme unfollowed him because that's his second. Remember, this was the first time he unfollowed him. He refollowed him and then he unfollowed him again. So Renee Rapp unfollowed him on the 19th. Eric Doa unfollowed him. The Kid Leroy unfollowed him. Or LaRue, I don't even know how to say that. Cat's Eye Yanche unfollowed him. Cat's Eye Megan unfollowed him. Cat's Eye Lara, it must be a group of them called Cat's Eye. All unfollowed him on the 19th. Cat's Eye Daniela, Cat's Eye Sophia. What the heck is Cat's Eye? Cat's Eye Mannion. They all unfollowed him in the same day. Rex Orange County has unfollowed him. Raj unfollowed him the 19th. Kenya O's unfollowed him. Cody Conrad unfollowed him. Raven Lene unfollowed him. Corey Williams unfollowed him. Larry Merritt, Larray unfollowed him. Coco Goff unfollowed him. Vikram Barn, Vicstar unfollowed him. Biba Adobe unfollowed him. Lil Yachty unfollowed him. This is all on the 19th. Nor Dabash unfollowed him. Bryce McKenzie unfollowed him. Camila Cabello unfollowed him. Cole Bennett unfollowed him. Somber unfollowed him. So that means all these people were originally following him and they're all unfollowing him. Ha! He really ruined his life. But somebody that's capable of murder should never have had this life anyway. You know what I'm saying? It was all bound to get ruined because, I mean, if somebody that evil that could do something like that, I mean, come on. But I guess that is kind of, what's the word for me saying that? Because think about Hollywood and all Hollywood, the celebrities, musicians. I mean, there's so much freaking evil, though. A lot of them are into evil things. So never mind. I mean, I feel like there's more evilness in there than not. Anyway, Sob Zeta unfollowed him. Bella Porch unfollowed him. Avani Gregg unfollowed him. Emma Brooks unfollowed him. Tyla unfollowed him. Ariana Greenblatt unfollowed him. Jaden Hostler unfollowed him. Lorraine Gray unfollowed him. Snot? Is that supposed to be snot or money not? Or there's a money signal, which I'm guessing is an S, right? I don't know. S not maybe. Unfollowed him. Carrington unfollowed him. Pierre Bourne unfollowed him. I'm Dante unfollowed him. That's the 18th. Wu Chan of All Day Project unfollowed him on the 18th. Maggie Lindemann unfollowed him. TMZ unfollowed him September 18th. So it was a day after they identified who, because remember they identified Celeste the 17th, so a day after they unfollowed him. Why'd they take so long to unfollow him? Rolling Stone unfollowed him on the 18th September. Crocs unfollowed him on the 18th. Remember Crocs? He had a croc after him. Remember that picture of him staring at his, like he had a croc made after him or whatever it's called? He ruined everything. But Primer unfollowed him on the 18th. Veronica Costai unfollowed him. That she does what, Coat Flojo? You said there's speculation that she does, but no one knows for sure. She does what? I'm trying to see what you're referring to. Huh. Oh, yes, I've seen that. Yeah. I seen that like last week or the week before, but I haven't talked about it yet. It was in my section where I was going to talk about it when I got to like my files about Wendy, her cousin and stuff. I never made that video yet, and then I don't know, I got kind of preoccupied or sidetracked, and then this new stuff came out, but I was a little bit leery because I don't know if that's even true, about the mother, and I don't really know much about it. I know supposedly like yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about it, but yeah, I've seen people like speculating that, but okay. So Veronica Costai unfollowed him. Gina unfollowed him. J-Rocks unfollowed him. I don't know. Is that really his name? IDK? I don't know. That should be my name. I say I don't know so much. No, he unfollowed him. Giovanni Ramos unfollowed him. This is on the 18th. Ian unfollowed him. Charlie XCX unfollowed him the 18th. Osquin unfollowed him on the 18th. Osquin. Rockstar Yoshi? Rockstar Yoshi. Rockstar Yoshi unfollowed him on the 18th. Glaive unfollowed him. Midwest unfollowed him. Fortnite unfollowed him on the 18th. Yes Jules unfollowed him on the 18th. YouTube Music unfollowed him on the 18th. Maximilian, that was his photographer. Or, I mean, I'm sure he wasn't just his photographer, but that was one of the ones that was taking pictures for him. He unfollowed him on the 18th. Jay Guapo unfollowed him on the 18th. Kane Bailey unfollowed him. Asia Collins unfollowed him on the 18th. I don't think I realized that she unfollowed him so soon after. Tyler, the creator, unfollowed him on the 18th. Tara Yummy unfollowed him. Chase Hudson unfollowed him. Lee Martinez unfollowed him. Gabriella B unfollowed him. Julia Wolf unfollowed him. Nafiz unfollowed him. YNG Martyr unfollowed him. Invincible TV Show unfollowed him. DC the Dawn unfollowed him. Pokebane unfollowed him. Bryant Barnes unfollowed him. Realist K unfollowed him. Keshi unfollowed him. Malcolm Todd unfollowed him. Addison Ray unfollowed him. Jason Nugian, that Jason the Ween, unfollowed him on the 18th. Ice Spice unfollowed him. Hannah Bang unfollowed him. Daniel Caesar unfollowed him. Laffy and Junia unfollowed him. This is all on the 18th. Tate McRae unfollowed him. Kelly Uchis unfollowed him on the 18th, and that's all they have. I'm sure there's a lot more, but that's all the ones they have. I've never seen that. That's interesting. You said Billie Eilish. They don't have her on here for some reason, but I'm sure they don't have every single person that unfollowed them. I did not know though that TMZ was following him. That's interesting. You guys said you knew they were like fans of his. That kind of makes this all a little more interesting with them being like the main reporters of them. Or reporters of That did not even make sense how I worded that. The main ones that are like reporting on them as far as because they're local. I mean, them and SF investigates, but they have a lot of connections and stuff and sources. And I know a lot of people don't trust them, but I feel like, as far as like some of their sources and some of the stuff they are able to have info like that nobody else would be able to have. Like, well, the local people, like SF Investigates, he's able to be local and go around and talk to people and gather information. And like when things do come out, like when you're local, you can go pick up stuff. So like when the report comes out, medical examiner report, coroner's report, when that comes out, instead of having to wait for it to be mailed, they could go in and pick it up the minute it comes out. So they'll be like the first to get everything. And then TMZ having all kinds of sources because of what they do, So, but let's just wait and see. I think, did we watch the video? Okay, what video was I watching? We had to have, because I think it was either on, maybe it was on this TMZ. Hold on. Did we watch the video where they were talking about how, it's actually they're going to try to speed it up, like it might go a little bit faster than we're imagining now. I think they're just waiting for the toxicology. But maybe it's this one. Let's watch this one real quick. There's one of them that I don't think we watched that I want you to hear.
The body of a teenage girl found in a Tesla yesterday. He's now being considered a suspect in her death. ABC's Alex Stone has been following the story and joins us now with the latest details. This story just keeps getting stranger.
It does. And this has been going on now for weeks. And for a while, we weren't hearing from police in this. And now we are. 2 months since Celeste Rivas's body was found in the trunk of that Tesla. And today, sources are telling us that David is among suspects who they're looking at and that nobody has been excluded. While the medical examiner has not yet determined the cause of her death, the body was dismembered, we now know. And based on what they have learned in the case, they believe that David did play a role in her death and got help from others in trying to dispose of her body in this Tesla that you're seeing here in the tow yard. One source saying they're focusing in on certain individuals, and those individuals are concerned now that they know that the LAPD is focusing in on them. David is not cooperating, we're told, has not cooperated from the beginning, but guys, we're told investigators have a lot of work left to do. There is no hurry. They say that they're being methodical in this, but they've got a lot of work left to do.
All right. So
this one's
David's
saying
a suspect right now. Can police arrest him? And do they know what the motive might be?
He is a suspect in the eyes of investigators at this point, but not officially under the law because they don't have the probable cause to make the arrest just yet. What they really need is that cause of death from the medical examiner, and they don't have that. The condition of the body was so badly deteriorated. This is taking some time, but I was told by an investigator this morning they expect to get that pretty quickly, and then things are going to get moving.
That's what I was talking about. That comment right there. They expect to get that report really quickly, then things will move really quickly. I think once they get that report and the cause of death, then it will be quicker. Like I think whenever they get it, I think that arrest will come shortly after that. Well, depending on what the report is, I guess, but I don't think there's much new in this. This is from, I think it's their newest video. No, this is from yesterday. Wait, I had one, I swear, from today. Wait, no, that is from today. I don't think that yeah, this is today's. I don't think they really add anything, but let's just watch it because I have it in the list to play. So let's just see. There might be something in it that we learn. Hold on, I gotta bring this over here. I can't find my
Finger David, now considered a suspect, and is found in the trunk of his Tesla.
She's the young girl
that
he
had some relationship with.
The investigators say that
I can't
he's now a
find my.
suspect,
Oh, there it
and
is.
her death is considered a homicide.
It hasn't been officially ruled a homicide because the medical examiner still hasn't weighed
That
in
music
yet.
is
Which means
right.
there's no official cause of death and no toxicology results. Still, investigators believe there's enough evidence to call this a homicide and David a suspect. We've learned one thing they're focusing on is a mysterious road trip.
They say that in
No, I'm not. But Chloe, I'm not saying that you need that. But what I'm saying is they're getting those results back. So until that's done, now if they come back and say, "Oh, we can't, no cause of death," then I'm sure they will still work on it, and I'm sure if they think he did it, they'll still arrest him. But since it's still out and it's not like a case where they're like, oh, there's no cause of death, that they're still waiting for it supposedly. So of course they're going to wait for them to get it back. Now if it comes back and they can't figure it out, that's a whole different story. Do I think that if they think he did it, they're not going to charge him? Heck no. Of course they're going to probably build a case and still charge him if they think he did it, but they're still waiting to see what they're going to say. You know what I'm saying? As long as they have eyes on him, I'm just nervous that he's either going to unalive himself or he's going to book it across the border. So, I mean, as long as they got eyes on him, I don't know. Now that this is out that he's a suspect, they just better keep close eye on him. I hope they freaking get those results back soon, and then they will be able to move. You know, I feel like they're just waiting on that to see what they say, in my opinion. Oh, not only in my opinion, everybody's saying that. That's what they're waiting on. Hasn't came back yet, I guess.
The spring of 2025, David took a trip to a remote area of Santa Barbara County
In the middle of the night.
He went there for several hours.
They clearly know by the Tesla, right? Because the Tesla has data on where the car is going. The only way they would know it's David
I like that mug.
is if there's some evidence, namely video from the car.
But also, if there's video, was Celeste in the car also?
Well, that's a key thing. We weren't told they went to Santa Barbara.
He went to Santa Barbara.
My guess is, and I don't understand the logic of it, is that he was trying to dispose of the body in a remote area.
But if that's true, it begs the question, why drive all the way back to LA and leave the body in the trunk very near to the home in which David was living? And there's more. We're told based on the manner in which Celeste's body was dismembered,
The investigators believe that he had help. So I just keep going back to that Tesla. There's some video showing David and at least somebody else doing something with Celeste's body.
despite David being considered a suspect, no arrests yet. In fact, the LAPD tells us they are not close to making an arrest. But that could just mean they're biding their time and making sure they get this right.
Hopefully they get answers for Celeste.
Yeah, there really wasn't anything new on that. I shouldn't even have played that because that music, now I'm nervous. I'm going to have to cut that out. Well, if I do lose my chat, at least I have it up on the side. They need to come up with, StreamYard's been really good at taking people's recommendations and then implementing them. So I should get everybody, let's write a recommendation to get like a solid background on the messages, don't you think? Because it's hard to read when it's mixed with different backgrounds. If like these messages up on screen could come like on a solid, like not a see-through background. I keep thinking there's like an option, but the only option they have so far is size, or, and this is the biggest they have, or like you could do it like this, wide, tall, which I'm doing it this way so it takes up less, like if I show anything. But anyway, all right guys, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. If you guys have anything interesting about this case, please email me, because I am like working on something else, and sometimes I get so into that I don't check anything else, and I'm like trying to finish what I'm doing there, and then I miss like important updates till 2 hours late, like yesterday. It might have been more than 2 hours. But I'm more prone to see like an email notification come up through my phone if I'm looking, possibly. So yeah, if you guys see an update, email me, because I know that time I didn't look, so that's why I missed it, because I think I did get an email. I think Flojo, you emailed me, but I didn't see it. What I did end up seeing is the girl that from RIA texted me. It took like a little break and I saw the text pop up, and that's what I saw. And I was like, oh my God, I got to do a live. When like yesterday, or was it 2 days ago? My days are like all flowing together. Was that 2 days ago when they announced him as a suspect, or was that yesterday? I don't even know. Sometimes my days merge together. All right, guys, have a good one. Thanks for coming. And I will, sorry, I'm doing audio, but next time I'll show my face. And if you guys are following any other cases, I don't know who else to follow. Now, if this keeps moving quick, I'll be busy with this case, but if this kind of like takes a standstill, like I hope it doesn't, but if it does, I'm trying to think There's so many different cases. Like, I have trouble just like picking one right now. At least I am. I'm having trouble recently of picking one. What is there any other cases you guys are following that's interesting that I could look into? Let me know. All right. Bye, guys.